Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're tuned in from. It's another What Now episode, and today my guest is W. He is so on time. Let me see. Let's just wait until people actually come in. People are actually on time. I'm okay with that. I don't even
Hey,
get to do an intro. Hey, how are you?
all right, how you doing?
I am so happy because I hate monologues and people are late and people just don't show up on time and you're just on the dot. There's nobody here yet. That's
Okay, well,
awesome.
they'll show up.
They'll show up, yeah. So,
Keith just showed up.
what's that?
I like it. I'm leading the bottom. Cat just showed up. Hey, Cat.
Oh,
So, yeah.
cool. Yeah. I'm trying to pin this remark of mine, this comment, so people know to put their questions in the question box. So yeah, people who just tuned in, thank you all for taking the time out to join us in this conversation. What Now is about motivational relief for creatives, but also for everybody else that's stuck in the house. Um, if you have questions for W, who is my guest today, please put them in the question box, because what I've noticed is when people put questions up on the comments and you're in the conversation, I don't want to interrupt the flow. And so we can get back to the questions when there's a spot for it. First of all, thank you for being here.
No problem. I think last time we interviewed was like 11 years ago.
I know. I was just thinking, like, when's the last time we talked, or when's the last
Yeah.
show in Atlanta? That's so long ago. Like, I just didn't even realize how long I've known you.
Yeah, like 11 years ago. I just dawned on me a couple of days ago. I was like, wow, that's a long time.
I know. But we're still around, still alive,
Yeah.
kicking.
Still doing what we're doing.
Yeah, and I do know that when you started doing the Arts, Beats, and Lyrics exhibition, that I was trying to catch it, but I just kept missing it whenever I was playing. So I'll catch it at one point. I was talking to Sydney on Monday, and she told me to really go see it. And I told her, hey, I want to bring it to Europe. I think it will do great over here.
We would love to go to Europe.
Yeah. So we're going to have to talk about that, because I know that I would want to make that happen. And even if it's just 3 or 4 cities, that would be great. Obviously, when things open up again.
Yeah.
So for those people that don't know W is an amazing, talented artist, illustrator. I should have planned you on Star Wars Day, but I had Sydney already. But yeah, so can you talk a little bit about what the impact has been for you creatively?
Well, I'll tell you this. This is a lot of time you have to spend in my studio. So I've been able to paint more and create more.
Oh,
and
great.
Actually plan out next moves. So, and for people who grew up, spending a lot of time by themselves, this is it was kind of cool, because, as artists, this is what we kind of do anyway. So it's an excuse to not have to answer the phone as much, not have to be up on everything as much, and just get into the creative space and see what you can come up with. Because this is what, day 53 for us?
I stopped. I don't think I ever started counting, but
yeah,
we're
53,
Yeah.
You'll be surprised what you can get done in 53 days of, almost uninterrupted, had a chance to, watch some videos, learn some new stuff, take some notes, do some drawing. So it's been all right.
So for you, it actually inspired you to be more creative because you have the time now?
Yes, definitely.
And do you feel like, because you don't have that time pressure of creating something for, whatever collection or exhibition, do you feel like you're being more creative in a passionate way again, other than it just being work? Because I was talking to Sid about that, and she's like, oh, I feel like I'm actually enjoying painting again.
Yeah, you're doing it for yourself. So around this time, we'd be still on the road doing shows. So this past weekend would have been our show in Louisville, Kentucky for the Derby.
Right.
And you figure for every show, we got to go there, set up, take down, and all that. So that takes time. So there's a lot of time you're outside of the studio and away from your creative space, handling, making sure the show runs right, making sure everything gets to be where it needs to be. So, and not to mention that's kind of the physical thing too, because you're physically doing stuff when you're on the road,
Yeah.
and you got to take time to like recover. So this has been pretty cool, just to sit back and, you know, watch videos, learn new skills, break out, organize my art supplies, you know, organize the art supplies.
Did you buy new ones?
You know, I got stuff I don't even know how to use yet, so I got to learn how to use it. So like, what is this? You know, started doing watercolors again. You know, I get to do that. That's like my art fantasy. Be that guy out with the watercolor palette out in the open. You know, be that dude.
I have this Boba Fett behind me. That's watercolors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you this: watercolor is easy to do, but very hard to do well.
Well, this is a friend of mine. He's not really he's a DJ, and he does art too. So
yeah, tip of the hat to all the watercolorists out there, because I'm trying and I'm like, yo, this is hard.
Yeah.
Watercolor, it's not as easy as people think, you know?
Right. But so, okay, there's a couple of things that you said that I want to get into also based off of some talks I've had with other creatives. One of the things is you now learning new skills. So
yes,
being stuck, anybody, not just creative people, but just everybody's now like, oh, what should I do? People lost their jobs. People sit at home, maybe getting paid from their job, but not having work to do. They can tap into their non-existent creativity, maybe some hidden talent, but also people that are already creative, learn your craft or work on your craft or learn new ways to expand your skill. Is that something that you have been doing a lot lately?
Oh, absolutely. I signed up for Skillshare, you know, and, you know, they got the first 2 months are free. And I'm like, well, you figure we should be on the other side of this in 2 months, right. Optimistic speaking, you know, but
now you
so
gotta start paying.
Yeah, you know, yeah, then the fees kick in if you want to avoid that, you know, just learn as much as you can in 2 months, you know. So yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been looking at a lot of YouTube videos, and, you know, because there's a lot of things that are outside of, you know, comfort level, you know, that they may not try. Because, you know, over time you get good at doing what you do.
Right.
But to take your stuff to another level, you got to be good at what you don't do. So
what is one of the things that you've really been trying to do in these past 53 days?
53 days, one, be more efficient and more productive. Because you got a bunch of time on your hands, and it's easy just to get caught up in feeling sluggish. You know, like I'm just going,
Netflix.
Yeah, like, you know, one day we realized that we're going to go to bed early, and why? Like, why are we going to bed early? Because yeah, you know, so
we can.
Yeah, because you can wake up at noon, 1, 2. It's the same day over and over.
Groundhog Day almost.
Yeah. So, but working on productivity, because at the other side of this, things are going to pick up eventually.
Yeah. And
you want to have things in place so that when things do kick in, you're ready to rock and roll, as opposed to like, okay, let me get it together. Like, this is the time to get it together.
Right.
You know, people say, if I had just had the time to do this, you have all the time you want now. You know, so, you know, get in there and do some stuff.
There's two types of people. There's people that now finally have the time to do what they have like on these lists of, I still want to do this in life or that. And there's people that are like, oh, well, I'll get to it.
I mean, this is the time to get to it. What other time in history has everybody been at home? No matter how famous you are, no matter how many successful, no matter what you're doing,
wartime.
You're at home.
Yeah.
You're at home. You know.
Yeah. So for you guys, well, it's gotten a comparison with wartime over here, because obviously with World War II, we were in the middle of it. United States, far away, little island, nobody really touches you, like in the roads, in the streets. Over here, obviously, people had to hide and be in the house and be quiet all the time. Pretty much comparable, not the same, because it's not wartime. It's an invisible war we're fighting.
Yeah.
Being productive, great. I mean, I've never been this productive in my life, so I'm also very happy with this time. But people are also feeling like they're being guilted if they're not doing anything. And working on yourself, making sure that you're okay first before getting productive is also very important and not to be overlooked. Do you have, or did you have problems? I don't want to say mental problems, but just, you know, staying sane with the fear of what's going on and the what ifs and the uncertainty of the society. Is that something you've been thinking of?
Well, I'll tell you this, you know, Atlanta just opened up pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
They're wide open now. They're wide open. You know, we drove past the park because, you know, we wanted to see, and it looked like the 4th of July out there.
It is insane.
You know, and as you watch the news every day, you see death tolls going up and you see all this stuff happening. You know, that can, and you hear everybody's take on it because everybody has their own belief of where it came from, who's responsible, what's next, what's the, you know, so that's a lot, you know, that could be a lot. But the good thing is the art is away from that.
Right.
So it is a break from, because if you'll go crazy watching the news all the time, because a lot of times there's nothing really new. They're just filling time with information of the stuff. Right. So, you know, the creative aspect of things is that can help keep you from going off that edge. Yeah. You know, just you can think about something else. And also, on another note, watching Netflix and while you're working. And I've gotten into BBC dramas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pray. It was that was a good one. I think we did Apple Tree Yard. It's on Hulu, so yeah, you know.
Awesome. So yeah. Do you feel like the art that you're making now is also COVID-19 inspired?
Not really. It was more along the lines of stuff that I wanted to do that I never got around to. I had stuff sitting in my sketchbook for years.
Oh yeah, so you can now
actually
work on that.
Yeah, like it's sitting around. I was like, you know what? I think this is a good time to do that. And I repainted a painting I did a couple of years ago because I felt that I didn't paint it well enough. So I repainted the whole thing. Yeah.
That's perfectionist. Now
I mean,
that was irking you so bad for all these years, and now you have the time to just get rid of that little voice like you gotta redo it.
It was bothering me. But I do that often though. I painted pictures twice because I may have painted it once and I'm like, nah, I don't like the size of it. So I'm gonna do it again. Painted it bigger. Or I painted it big and I'm like, I think that was way too big. I need to paint it small. You know, so I painted it again smaller. You know, and plus,
would you now repaint an existing painting in watercolors?
Maybe.
That's a
Now, I don't think I'm going to go down as like a watercolorist because that's a whole nother discipline.
But just because you can.
It's fun. It's fun for me. But, you know, the people that are serious about watercolors are super serious about watercolors. You know, it's its own thing.
Yeah, you're not on that level yet.
Nah, I'm not ready to dance at that party yet. So.
Okay, so going back to the fact that you are in Atlanta, in Georgia, I completely forgot that Georgia is one of the states that is just crazy at this point. I just read, I don't envy you guys at all. Actually, I don't envy anybody in the United States at this point. I'm fine where I'm at. So
indoors. Safe and indoors.
Yes, indoors as well. We just had a press conference like 2 hours ago that the hair salons and the nail salons are opening up next Monday already. And then and then we're going to get more loose on June 1st with the measures and just going, you know, by day, I guess. But I read that Georgia's risk of infection increased with 40%. Just in this week that it opened up, or the first week. So
I can see that.
How is that for you? I mean, I know you're staying indoors, but you know, your friends, your family, how is that experience for you? Do you speak to them? Who's going out? Do you feel some type of way if your cousin is like, oh, I'm going out?
Well, I tell you this, like, you know, this whole time I've had a lot of chances and opportunities to talk to other people I haven't had a chance to speak to in a while, especially in Atlanta and abroad, because you want to make sure everybody's doing all right.
Yes.
And for the most part, a lot of the folks that we know are pretty much like, hey, don't fall for the okie doke on this.
Right.
you know, chill out, because they, you know, they see what's going on. Now, some people feel that it's not that big of a deal. They're not feeling that it's a big of a threat to them. But for the most part, a lot of the folks now are still kind of laying low and, you know, not rushing out to go get the fade right now. You know?
I know.
And it's really weird that see, the thing that got us is that it's what they chose to open first.
Right.
Bowling alleys was on the list. You know, I'm like,
Surfing.
I didn't know. I didn't know people. Yeah, it's like, was bowling bringing in that much money? Was that helping keep up the economy? The bowling dollar. You know?
I guess it's bigger than we thought.
Yeah, obviously, because it's up there with nail salons. Because in a pandemic, you know, got to get that squared away.
Honestly, in a pandemic, that's not my first worry, and I'm a woman. Like, this is just what it is, people. This is how we realize how addicted we became to things that are really not a priority.
Yeah, and this is also time we realize what's important. Yeah. You know, when everything is up in the air, you got to really think about what's important, who's important, and, you know, what you plan on doing with the, you know, coming up. Time.
So coming out of, because I spoke about mental health with a lot of people. You just told us that your art is a way for you to stay sane, to calm. It's, you know, it's helping you, which is 9 out of 10 times the reason why people start being creative, like drawing or even making music, or, you know, whatever it is that you do. It's always a means of expressing or dealing with your feelings. I'm lost about where I wanted to go with this. Oh yeah, so you know, for you, that's great that you have your art. Now that you're making all this stuff, are you planning on compiling that to some sort of new exhibition? Is it just there? Are you going to put it on your site for sale? Or what's I know it's for you in the first place, but is there also another goal for your art after this pandemic?
Well, the first thing I want to do is just finish them, you know, because it's like, it's one of those things that's going to be just keep bothering me.
Yeah.
After this, I may put it in a book form, because I'm working on that. A lot of my sketchbooks, I want to compile that and put it out for people later on this year. And that's another thing to work on.
Yeah.
You know, you got time to scan all that stuff now. You know, so I've been here doing that. So that's the thing. I think as far as goals go, finishing it is the first one. You know, that's an achievement in itself.
Right.
And then the next thing will be putting it in a form where people could, you know, take a look at it and check it out.
So what if, because you're talking about finishing things, and what I've noticed about you just by this talk only is you can't have loose ends when it comes to your art. You just finish that. It's going to bother you until it's done.
Well, yeah, yes and no, because I don't really think I finish anything. I just stop. Right. Until I realize I got to go back and fix it.
Right. Okay. But it's still in the back of your mind. So tomorrow suddenly pandemic is gone. Virus is dead. Somebody found out that you can kill it by, I don't know, spraying water around. Everything is back to normal. Are you planning on still finishing it, or are you picking up where you left off before this?
I'm going to still finish it. I'm going to still work. Because now it's part of your routine now.
Right. You incorporate this in your regular schedule.
Yeah, this is like a reset, you know, so, and for some folks out there, whatever was going on before this whole thing hit might have been really stressful.
Yeah.
And this might be the time they needed to just reset.
Definitely.
And, you know, unwind, and, you know, so after this, I'll still be working on stuff.
Yeah.
So now I can go drive places more. That'll be kind of cool. I might feel safer going out of the house.
I know, right?
You know, gearing up, but you know, with I don't know. I think post this whole thing, people are going to still be wearing masks a lot more.
I think so. People are going to be.
I think that's going to be a thing. As soon as they start making them more stylish, and as soon as like high-end brands start dropping stuff, I think we'll be good. They already
did though. I've seen people with Gucci and Louis Vuittons, and yeah. And people that made it themselves out of, I don't know, Louis Vuitton scarves or fabric or old shirts or something like that. People have been very
I thought you were going to say old persons. I was like, I can make a leather mask. You gotta walk
I
around.
know, right? It's already hard to breathe in this stuff. Yeah, that's a whole other type of mask if you throw leather in there. But yeah. So I've asked these questions to different creative people, musicians, actors, filmmakers, visual artists. Who is a person that you would love to get a call from right now because they have the time? Because, you know, this is a time where everybody's art can be seen and heard because people are sitting at home trying to find new stuff.
Yeah.
Who is a person that you would want to call from working with together?
Well, I would say one of my favorite artists of all time is based in Hanover, Germany, named Sebastian Kruger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, he is I tell people, he probably goes to bed every night knowing that no one can touch him.
Wow.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. I want to, hopefully in the future, I get a chance to take one of his workshops in Germany and, you know, watch this magic happen. Because watching it online and looking at the books, I don't know how it happens. I need to see it in person to make sure it's real.
That's a good goal to have, though.
Yeah, I had a chance though a couple years back, but we got caught up on tour, so we couldn't do it. You know, but.
So okay, so art beats and lyrics. How often do you guys travel?
We do about 10 shows a year.
And that's 10 different cities?
10 different cities.
All in the United States?
Only in the U.S. So we want to take it abroad.
So the shows that have been canceled now, are they being pushed back and rescheduled?
Yeah, they're going to be pushed back. And our show really runs from like October to May. Okay. That's our season. So it kind of overlaps years. So instead of saying it's the 2020 show, it's actually the 2019 show. Right. 20, and now we're going into 2021, you know, show. So
right. So how many were still left on the dates?
I would say we probably had about maybe 2. One in a pasta. Bad. So we got a lot of them out the way. You know, the good thing is that we had the Chicago show during NBA All-Star Weekend at the beginning of February. Oh, yeah. You know, as opposed to the end of February. Yeah, you know, that's a whole lot. That's a big difference.
Yeah, that is
a room with like 5,000 people. You know, you feel kind of different doing that end of February.
Does, you know? Yeah. So how long does the show run for when you're in a city?
Oh, they're one night only shows.
Oh, they're only one night? Ooh.
One night. You got one night to see it. You know, we jam them in there. We get it. We come in, set up at about 7 a.m. and then the show starts at 7 p.m. and then at midnight we take it all down. Oh my and we're out of the venue by 3 a.m.
That is tiring as a trip. Yeah. It's a whole traveling show. So
it's a traveling show. So if you think about it, on our show in Atlanta, we did at the State Farm Arena where the Hawks play, and I think I walked. I have a little Fitbit on, like 31,000 steps.
I got a Fitbit, yeah.
Yeah, you know, 31,000 steps. You know?
Wow. Just in one night, yeah.
Just in one building.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the night, it wasn't like we walked and was 15 miles down the road.
Right.
We were in the same place.
In the same place, yeah.
Yeah, up and down stairs. And, you know, arenas have stairs.
Yes.
So if you go from the floor to the top, you got to go all up the stairs. So.
That's a whole workout. You don't have to go to the gym anymore next day.
Yeah, all day, you know, and then after that, we had to take it all down.
Right. And then work all of that. So that was another thing that I wanted to ask you, because I've spoken to people that are heavily on tour that are now actually realizing, okay, maybe I was overdoing it, like traveling to Japan or Australia and doing like 7 shows in a week every night. And so now they have the time to rest. And mind you, I'm talking to people that are, you know, have been around for a bit. So they're a little older and you get to feel it. How's that for you? Because you just said, it's for me, I get to sit down now and work on my art without having to do all of that on tour. Do you feel like you have to maybe rethink how to do that more efficient for your health?
Well, I think moving forward, you know, at this point in time, you got to start thinking, okay, you're getting older, you know, and you're getting older, you know, and how can you work smarter in the future? You know, that's one of the things, like, okay, what can be done to make it easier, or who can be added to the team to make things, you know, a little easier for things.
Right. So honestly, I'm thinking about definitely getting the show out here, but
Would love to go out there.
yeah,
That'd be
no,
awesome.
we're gonna make that happen. Let's speak it into existence.
Yeah.
It will come out here, but I would want it to be up for maybe 7 days in Amsterdam and 7 days in Berlin, and but
Yeah,
not a week.
Berlin is cool.
That's not
Berlin is cool.
that's not even profitable if you're flying out here with everything.
Yeah, well, the thing is with the tour that we do, it's one night only. One, because venues are expensive, so
Yeah, but we can work that.
yeah, you know, venues can be pricey, so it wouldn't make sense for us to rent like, you know, a stadium for 3 days. You know, that'd be too much money.
True.
So we've got it to where we're very, very efficient in moving in, setting up, doing the show, taking it down, and then we're out. You know, so
how many people are involved in the show?
Like as far as like the acts and the DJs and everything and all that?
Everybody working on it.
Oh, our team, it varies. So we got about maybe, I would say average like 15 people that assemble like Voltron to be the team. So we got folks coming in from LA, Texas, you know, Baltimore. Right. Everybody just comes in, flies in. And most of the team is based in Atlanta. And then we all meet together, we do the show, we get down, and then afterwards, we all go back to our regular lives.
Right. I just saw one of my friends joining. I'm not sure if he's still watching. His name is Quincy. He's a really great artist. He actually is designing a tattoo for me.
Oh, what are you getting?
I put him on to your work because he's actually designing a part of my tattoo will be a Boba Fett. And so, yeah, I've been wanting that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so he's here. K Quills official. So going into that, I put him onto your work because of the obviously the Star Wars, the hip hop Star Wars combinations and you know transitions that you do that have become tattoos as well.
Yeah.
How was it for you when you first found out somebody put your design on their arm or leg?
It was odd to see people respond the way it had done over the past couple of years, because when I originally did the drawings of Yoda, the little Yoda thing.
It was the Yoda, yeah. That was the first
one. It was the Yoda, and it's not a big drawing. The drawing is only this big.
Yeah.
It's small. And, you know, you do it, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to put it out there to see what happens. And, you know, people are like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. And then over time, you see it becoming something else. And, you know, you start seeing it appearing on, like, you know, people reposting it and reposting it. And then you started seeing, then you start seeing people putting it on, like, their bodies.
Yeah.
You know? And there's a funny story. So a while ago, years ago, I used to do, like, self-defense training. You know, we had some folks come in from, like, I think some former Israeli soldiers were coming in and doing a workshop. And we did this routine where, you know, we had to do some type of combat fighting. And I reached my point where I'm like, okay, I'm good. You know, I got hit in the ribs, and I was like, all right, after this, I'm good. Because I had an art show to go to that night. So now I'm at the art show, I'm all like this because my ribs are like in pain. And, you know, when your rib hurt, you can't really move and your breathing hurts. So they weren't broken. They were probably just hurt.
Bruised.
So I'm there like this, all stiff. And this dude's like, hey, W, what's up, man? I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? And he's like, yo, check this out. And he pulls the shirt up, and he has a Yoda tattoo on his bicep. And he tells me the story of how Star Wars was how his father and him used to really bond.
Right.
And you know, that piece meant a lot to him. And because I thought that was really cool, because, you know, what I did, I just wanted to put it out there. And, you know, when you're a creative person or an artist and you put stuff out in the universe, you really don't know who's this going to touch,
right,
or what's going to happen to it. Because once you let it go, it's out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't take it. So you basically combined two of your loves, Star Wars and hip hop. I remember the Yoda when I first saw it. I think I don't know, what year did you do that? Did I know you already, or?
Yeah, you probably knew me, because that was like maybe 2000 and.
Yeah, I think I knew you.
12, maybe 2012.
Yeah, we knew each other already.
Yeah.
So when I first saw it, because obviously I grew up with Star Wars and hip hop,
mm-hmm.
so for me that was like, you know, the gazelles and the chain and the Adidas, you know, it was just so fresh. That Yoda has been shared probably the most out of all of your work.
By far.
Yeah. So is the Yoda also the one that's the favorite for the tattoos?
Oh yeah, as far as I know. It's so crazy when you see somebody reinterpret something you've done, and then it's even crazy when you see somebody reinterpret something you've done better than you did. So really, I've seen some of the tattoos, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty dope.
I was gonna ask you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I wish I'd have thought of that.
Did I do your art justice?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, that's the reason why I colored it.
Yeah.
Because before it was just black and white.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so then I realized, okay, now I know what colors work. Thanks, you know.
Yeah.
So I was able to go color it.
Yeah. So the reason I asked Quincy to design my my tattoo is because I loved his artwork, and I didn't even know that he was also a tattoo artist. So when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, because when you have somebody design a tattoo for you, it doesn't automatically translate to a tattoo.
Yeah.
And so for him to also have love for Star Wars and hip hop, he was the natural person for me to go to. But unfortunately, pandemic, so I can't get the tattoo done.
Well, if you were here in Georgia, you can get that tattoo right now.
Well, he's designing it's like a whole sleeve, so he'll get it.
You're not doing the Mandalorian?
No, it's not the Mandalorian. It's
like
Boba Fett. It's
okay. The original, okay.
The original, yes. That's my hero. But I do love the Mandalorian. Great how they shot that whole. I mean, Jon Favreau just did an excellent job on the Mandalorian. So yeah, I can't wait for that next season to start. But of course, Baby Yoda is everybody's fan. People that don't know Star Wars love Baby Yoda.
You know, they missed out on so much money not having that ready for Christmas as a toy.
I know.
I'm like, how could you not do that? Like, how could you not do that?
Yeah.
They should have day one.
Well, you know that they did that because they were scared that it was going to leak.
Oh.
Because it wasn't out yet. The show wasn't out yet, and they held off to last minute with the production of the merchandise because they were scared somebody was going to leak it. So yeah. That was what I've heard.
You still missed $1 billion is a lot of money you could have made on a Yoda.
I know, but they're still gonna make that money anyway.
Yeah, they're still gonna make it, but it's like now it's like, yeah, you know, it's supposed to come out in March. You know, if you drop, if it would have came out in like January, okay, cool, it's still hot, you know, but
that's true.
They let the buzz get cold.
Well, I've seen some of the Baby Yoda merch, and it just looked awful. Like, that's not something I want to cuddle. So, like, if you're gonna make merch, then if you want to profit off of this, then better make it right, because they look like little monsters. Like, not.
But you know, the funny thing is, it's not the name. Is the name of Baby Yoda is just, it's called The Child. That's unoriginal.
It's not Baby Yoda.
Like, really? You missed the Baby Yoda thing completely? You went to The Child? That's, like, you really got to rethink. They really got to rethink their marketing on that.
I know. Oh, well.
Like, y'all can bring back Carl Weathers and y'all still, and you couldn't come up with a better name? You got Apollo Creed in space, you know? And you just gonna call it The Child.
I know. Well, we'll see what season 2 does. I saw some people having questions. Again, if you have questions, put them in the question box there, type them there, and then we can get to them. Because I think somebody asked what your opinion of time machines is.
Okay, I know exactly who that is. Okay. That's Justin. And we've been having this ongoing discussion about time travel and time machines.
You want to throw that in my live talk? Okay, that's fine. I'll take it.
My question is, what is your take on time machines?
My take?
On time travel.
Well, I mean, my take on it, I don't even know how to answer that question, but if there's a time machine, I'll take it. I'll get in there. I will travel to whatever time I feel I want to check out, and I'll hop on there or in there or whatever it is. I don't know if I want to go necessarily into my own past. Like, you know, the 42 years I've lived on this earth, I wouldn't want to go back to that. I would go either before my time or future. That's the only thing that I don't want to mess with my own. I don't want to see myself, that's no, like there's a lot of things that I could have done different, but it's fine. I accepted it. Yeah. Is that kind of what you meant with my take on it, or?
Yeah, see, so we did a podcast and time machines came up. And so we made it a point to ask everybody about time travel at the end of the show. No matter what the topic of the show is, we're going to be like, and for our last question, time travel. What you think?
So what's it for you? So what are your thoughts on time travel?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think it's available currently, but if it's not a thing yet, I do think that it's one of those things that everybody has an opinion on, surprisingly. Like,
I don't know. I have one. I had to think about it.
Yeah, everybody has something to say about time travel. But personally, I don't think I'd be going into the past. Personally, I would kind of like I'd want to go into the future, a little bit.
But the past is easier because you already know that that's happened. So
yeah, but I'm not trying to go too far past. The furthest I'll go is like the 90s.
I'm that sentimental person that would probably go back to early 70s just to see how my grandparents were, because I never knew my grandparents. Just, sit behind a bush and watch them or something, or look through their window. That's me. That's the purpose I would have for time travel. But future is just scary. What if you see shit you don't like? Then you gotta go back and knowing that you're gonna have to go towards that. That's man.
Oh, it could be great. You'd be like, yo, people, just hold tight. It's gonna work itself out. Or you never know.
Well,
but it's an interesting topic. People have a lot of opinions on time travel.
Yeah. Well, not behind a bush. Hey, I might be behind a bush. Who knows? Okay, so we're talking about time travel now. I was going to ask you if you were offered a part in a Star Wars movie, would you do it?
Absolutely. I'll do it.
Would you have a favorite part that you would want to play? Have you thought about, would you want to be one of the stormtroopers? Would you want to be like, I don't know, a robot or?
I don't think I'd be a good stormtrooper.
You just have to stand in line. That's all.
You're like, why is the stormtrooper wearing a tracksuit? They're like, yo, what's up with this guy?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of got to look here. You got to stick to it. I'd probably, I don't know. I probably want to fly a ship of some kind. I don't know what kind of ship. I think that'll be just cool. Because the ship look really cool in Star Wars.
I know. Even in the late 70s, early 80s, they already looked cool.
And I would want to wear a cape. That's the only requirement that I had.
So if you're wearing a cape, then most likely you would have some type of access to a lightsaber.
Yes. And also another thing. I would want a perm like Billy D. Williams or something close to it.
Well, somebody just said you should be Lando's son. But
thank you, Dustin. I'll be Lando's son. Because first of all, I thought it was kind of fly that he had his hair, processed and had a cape in space. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know.
If we're going to have to start looking at all the details, then yeah, we could write a whole story about what's wrong with or what's funny about all these movies.
Yeah, because just think, he's in space getting his hair done. He's sitting under a chair with the big thing come on his head. And they're like, you look beautiful, Lando. We're going to make you look so fly in space. When you get in that spaceship, you're going to look beautiful. Man. You look beautiful. So,
well, hey,
like, yes.
Maybe it's easier to get at Jon Favreau and you get a little part in The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
That might be easier than the whole Disney Lucas situation.
Yeah. Dustin said I would have a space perm. Yes, I will have a space perm.
Space perm. Well, you can go back in time and get your perm too, but
yeah.
All right, so going back to creativity, I've been to I'm keeping it Star Wars. I've been to an exhibition, an interactive exhibition from Star Wars. I don't know if you guys had it over there, but you were able to do all kinds of things, walking through this exhibition, creating your own character. At the end, you could see how your character did. You had to fight people and whatnot. It was really fun to do. Would you want to put all your Star Wars / hip hop art into an exhibition, collaborating with Disney / Lucas / Star Wars?
Oh, absolutely. That'll be great. I would love to do that. You know, I don't know if you can see in the background, I am a toy. You know, I have a small collection of large Star Wars characters. You know, I think that'll be dope. I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome too. That would be so. I mean, for some reason, my brain is like, how can we make this happen?
Hey, you got some connections. I'm down for it.
I know.
You
know? I'll look into that. But first, I want to get the current touring exhibition over here. I also had a lot of Star Wars stuff, but I live very small here in Amsterdam, so I wasn't able to collect as much as I want to. I don't know if you know Scheme Richards. He is the biggest collector of all. He's DJ from Philly. He's the biggest nerd and geek that I know. We geeked over Star Wars and all kinds of other nerd stuff. And so I got him this really big art book. Oh, wait, let me just, hold on.
Okay.
I'm showing it. I got to show it because it's one of my prized possessions. Hold on. Okay, so it's kind of like a coffee table book.
Oh, that's dope.
I don't know if you know it.
No.
So it has all kinds of artists in here that have their own take on Star Wars. It's an art book.
That's dope.
Yeah. So it's like literally there's so many artists in here, and it has like a little, oh man, look at this. Man, you should get this book.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Write that down. Put that on my
I'll send to you so when Scheme came to visit, he saw the book, and I know how much he appreciates all of this stuff, and so I gave it to him, and I got myself another one. Look at this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's so in the back there's all the names of all the artists that contributed to this book. You might know some. I'm really not that familiar with all these people.
Cool. It's a lot of concept work. That's dope.
Yeah. So it's amazing, and I think it was there's a foreword by George Lucas in it and all of that. So when I saw that, I mean, I'm not the biggest art person. I don't claim to know anything about art, but I can appreciate it, and I can definitely appreciate my friends' art. So everything that's on my walls is actually made by people that I personally know. That's
awesome.
Yeah, that don't live near me, so I feel like I'm surrounded by my friends and by their art.
That's cool. It's good to collect art.
I need to get.
I can't stress that enough.
I need to get one of your pieces as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we can make that happen.
Oh, I'll probably get one of the Star Wars and hip hop pieces, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, we're still good on time. Going back to the exhibition. When do you think you're going to be out there again, picking back up the tour? Is that going to be October?
I hope it's in the fall. You know, I hope we get it back, and hope things kind of get better here. Right. And
oh, okay. Is that me or is that him? I'm not sure who it is. W, I cannot hear you. We were doing so good. Oh, hello,
okay.
You are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I was saying, like, maybe in the fall will probably be a good time for us to get back on if everything is good.
Right.
Once the major sporting events figure out how they're operating, I think that's going to be the the playbook for everybody.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I see people putting questions in the comments. Please use this little question mark below to put your questions in there, because I don't want to keep scrolling.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am scrolling now. I saw some more questions, but okay, well, put it in the comment box if you have questions. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Plants.
That's my plant. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have like this huge big standish calendar on my wall for all my stuff, also part of the art, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, oh yeah, so October, hopefully the fall you'll be back traveling again. Are there other projects that you are working on right now, or that are or stuff that's put on hold?
Well, that's the major one right now, because that has a lot of arms to it. You know, it takes a lot to coordinate it, because the first part of the show is, one, we got to redesign all the installations. And we're looking at about 100 yards of wall space that has to be painted and customized and have art to fill it. So, and then we got 8-foot by 8-foot light boxes that are double-sided, and there's 16 of those, and 8 of those, so it's 16 sides. So it's a lot of design work going into it. It's a lot of painting going on into it, and coordinating with artists to get their work, return the work. And so before the show even hits the road, we have about a good 2.5 months in which we got to build a brand new show. You know, all the crazy ideas, coming up with the crazy ideas. Like last year, I designed a bamboo earring swing set. You know, so you can sit on this giant bamboo earring swing. Yeah. And, you know, things like that take time. You know, you have to work out with fabricators and make sure they can understand what you're trying to do and everything. So whatever's new, we got to, you know, get that rolling before we even hit the road.
Yeah, so basically you're preparing for a whole new show again while you're still
we got to redo everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
And then you still got the 2 last ones that you got to fit in somewhere, that you got to reschedule. Yeah.
Yes. So what'll end up probably happening is we'll just have to just do a completely new show and just fold them into the next season.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you get questions from people, or do you get messages from people that want you to do something personal for them? Like, hey, can you make me something, or can you paint me?
I get that from time to time. You know, usually it's like people want a picture, a portrait, or something like that.
Do you do
on occasion, you know, I do it. But every now and again, I'll come across something that I think is pretty cool, and I'll be like, all right, I'll do that.
Right. Because I was gonna say, like, how do you choose which request you get into and which not?
Well, it depends on who's asking. If it's a close personal friend or family, you know, you knock those out if you can. But if the project's really interesting, and you know, you may have never thought about doing something like that, and it's maybe sound fun, you might give it a try.
If it's new for you, then I can imagine it's awesome.
Yeah, you know, it might be kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. People are finally going into this question box.
Oh, okay.
Sydney says she needs the bamboo earring swing set for her backyard. So yeah, work it out with her.
Yeah, I'll be calling her and working out the details on that.
Okay, cool. I don't have a backyard, or I would have fought Sid over it, but okay. Then Quincy says, did you get into legal trouble with Lucasfilm or any cease and desist using the Star Wars imagery? That's a good question.
Well, not as of yet. Hopefully that, you know, that doesn't happen. But if it does, you know, we'll work that out.
If it does, you could tie that into, well, I've been wanting to work with you, but
yeah, like, you don't have me calling me. Now I got your attention.
Yeah.
Let's go get this money. Now let's go get this money, George.
I know. And the thing is that it's not commercial. So it's not for commercial use at this point, right? So
most of it's just like original, like I put like my custom illustrations on like t-shirts and stuff like that, but we're not going in Target or anything like that, no.
Yeah, and it's not the exact image because you made it hip hop.
Yes, it is an artistic interpretation.
Yes. So hey.
No, but I am still open to collaborate. So hopefully they're watching. Hopefully one of the 10 people watching this thing are part of the Lucas crew.
Yeah, George, if you're watching, let's collab. And he wants to be Lando's son. Just so you know.
That's right.
Okay, I saw somebody else asking, how do you think the show has grown over the years, and how many shows total have y'all done? Oh, okay, that's a good question.
So over the years, when we first started going on the road, it would take us 3 days to do a show. would go in there, and our show was designed where it almost had to be built like a set. Would have the wall pieces, would have to stick, put them together, drills and everything to connect them, and they'll take days to do. Then we did a show in Baltimore and used union labor, and they knocked it out in a day. We were like, oh, so wait a minute, we do this in one day? And then we went to 2 days. Now we're doing it in one day. And the show has grown a lot. You know, before it was like, when we first started, it was like smaller venues, you know, small venues. Now we're getting a chance to do stuff in like sporting arenas, football stadiums, college basketball arenas.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the concept of actually taking an art show and having that many people want to show up to it and getting venues like that is, you know, that's something that's different. You know, it's a different experience. And, you know, we've been with Jack Daniels and Jack Honey and all that for
my drink.
17 years. You know, that's a long time to be working with a brand.
Yeah.
And now we're doing stuff during marquee events. Like we'll do a show during NBA All-Star Weekend, you know, and not, and, you know, and a lot of times people may shy away from that because they feel that other, you know, there's so many other events going on that will pull away from your audience, but we still have the same crowds, you know, and that's cool. So it's grown in that, it's grown visually. So before we added the light boxes, which are like 8 foot by 8 foot light boxes, where we can showcase work from artists from around the country, around the world now, because all they got to do is send us a file, and now we can print their work large scale. That added a whole new element. And we've always been doing murals on the walls because we believe that white walls can be very boring and isn't kind of like tying to the energy we want. So there are no white walls in the show.
Sydney's going to be part of it in Detroit, so.
Oh yeah, you know, Sydney's been with us for a while, you know, so. You know, like with even like we don't have white walls, the walls are all colored and custom to make to art pop more. So that's something that we started with, but over time has grown and grown and grown. And now we're starting to get more into building installation objects. So like the bamboo earring swing set, that's like the first step in actually doing like, you know, structures where people can sit on, move. So that's where we're moving next, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do more of those and bigger stuff.
I'd love to see that. So you're just constantly evolving. So that means that the exhibition is really never ending.
No, and I tell you, the best thing about doing it is that I get to come up with ridiculous ideas, and people have to take me serious. So, you know,
serious, so
they're like, "Hey, I want a giant bamboo earring people can sit on." They're like, "Okay, yes, I want a high top fade people can climb in." You know, like,
that'd be hilarious.
And it happened. We could do it, you know. And that's one of the best parts about it, when you see an idea go from a thumbnail sketch to an actual structure, and you work out all the logistics, and that's the cool part. Because, you know, how do you make a bamboo earring that people can sit on?
It's very, because again, I'm not an art person, but so my sister in Houston, she is an artist, and she does those type of things as well. So I've seen her prepare for her exhibitions and her installments, and it's just, and her whole crew out there in Houston, because, you know, Houston, everybody's supporting everybody in that community art-wise. And so hearing all these ideas makes me feel like, damn, I'm so not creative. But I support everyone.
Think of something that sounds crazy, and then.
Well, I was thinking of when you said the high top fade that you can climb in, I instantly saw a high top fade maze that people can walk through, like, or something like that.
You know, you can do that. Check this out. So one day, like.
No. You're stuck again. You're freezing. People get off the Wi-Fi. The neighborhood is on the Wi-Fi. Come back. We got 5 minutes left. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So one of the things that we thought of, we're like, you remember the Never Ending Story?
Yes, of course.
People like, yo, what if we got a flying dog dragon? We built Falcor. And, you know, we tried to shop to find somebody to build Falcor, but logistically, building a giant flying dog dragon for an art show just took up too much space. And then you got to store it.
I know. You got to carry it with you.
Yeah, you're like, where you gonna put it? But I tell you this, we found some people that are willing to go on that ride with us to get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. So if you would come to Europe, would you, I mean, do you think you could do stadiums right away?
I don't know. I don't know. We gotta, we have to do some research, check out the energy, check out the vibe out there, look at some venues, and see how that whole thing works out. But I'm definitely interested in finding out. Definitely.
Yeah, me too. I'm dead serious. Like, we're gonna have to like talk about that at some point because we now have the time to research it anyway.
Yeah, and I know my business partner has been to Amsterdam, but only part we've been to is like the airport. That's it. On the way to somewhere else.
Well, I know I haven't been to Atlanta in a long time, but it's your turn to come to Amsterdam now.
Yeah, we like Kat and I, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna go check it out. Once flying gets
from the A to the A.
Yeah, once we get back to normal, we're gonna check it out, see how things are going on out there. We enjoy hanging out in Europe.
Yeah, and then I can take you guys on the Amsterdam street art tour and all of that stuff.
Okay, cool.
Okay, well, I want to really thank you for joining me in this conversation. I think it definitely lifted people's spirits, if anything. Thanks for talking about your productivity, your creativity, and the show. Is there anything that you want to say to people as some type of, I don't know, motivational quote to go out with?
Well, I'll say this. We got some time on our hands, really think about what you want to do with your work and what areas you want to take your stuff, and start putting some ideas together and look up some things and try to get information to make your ideas come to life, because chances are, hopefully, we won't have another opportunity like this where everybody is forced to be doing the same thing at the same time. We're here, we're all at home, and we can use this to connect with folks and do cool things like this and inspire people and share your work and all that. So, just use your time. Yes,
I agree. I want to thank you again, and thank you everyone for tuning in. The talk will be put on my IGTV. So if you feel like people need to see this, then send them over once it's on IGTV. Dee, thank you so much again. It was great.
It's been great catching up with you. 11 years ago we first met, so that's awesome.
I still got photos of you with that one piece. I remember I wanted to take it home, but it was too big. You got that piece out of one of the venues out there. I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still have those photos and all. It was good catching up with you. I'm glad we're still going strong. And,
yeah, we're still doing it. We're still out here.
We're still out here. We're going to get the show out here. Everyone, stay safe. You stay creating, finish the work, and
finish it.
We'll see everything, and I'll cop one of the Star Wars hip hop things from you for sure.
All right, let me know.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, have a good one. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.